what's up? Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna be watching another video. It's an interactive video about interactive narratives, right? I would explain what it is, but I feel like it's better to just go ahead and start the video and we can see.
Choose your path. This is an interactive video essay, so you choose where you want to go and you decide the way you experience this.
Because interactive narratives are all about player choices.
Total freedom to do as you feel since you're in control, or at least you think you are.
Either way, it's a unique storytelling device because it offers unique experiences for the audience.
Except when it doesn't, and the narrative becomes confined by its own controls. Making a story interactable requires a new kind of story that breaks the rules. And if they aren't breaking the rules, then they break the controller.
You need to find the tree!
I'll show you how it all works, and all you need to do is make a choice.
At the end of each video, you will get two options to pick from. Options like this: games or films.
Alright, see, this is what I was saying. It's like such an interesting concept. It's a video. It's a video within video. It's an interactive narrative about interactive narratives, right? So I mainly deal with games, so I'll just pick games.
Video games naturally give the audience control over the narrative because you decide what your character does.
When playing Red Dead Redemption 2, I can make Arthur Morgan drink in a saloon, play poker, lose at poker, kill everyone at the poker table and raid, shoot up
I was gonna say the same thing, kill everybody there.
the whole town, rob the bank, get murdered, come back to the town again, coming across the grieving widow of a man I gunned down, offer her $2, throw a knife at her head since she refused, get attacked by the sheriff, then lasso him and drag him a mile through the mud to teach him not to mess with someone as big and strong as me.
Throw him to the alligators.
Then I go and shoot this. Oh
No,
no,
you can't
I
shoot
seem to have
kids.
stepped into a bloody mission that doesn't even have any blood.
Oh.
Go here, now go over there. Nope, you're not standing in the correct spot. Thank you for inching over it, Dad. Now start fishing with this child instead of having fun killing people.
The choice is taken away from the player as they are forced down the narrow path of the game's main narrative.
Yeah, like in the new game that I'm playing, like the Expedition 33, it's a great game, but I hate when they just take control from me, so I have to be doing random things. Cause like, bro, what? I'm enjoying this whole shit. Anyway, continue.
Good, because I don't want to make all the choices all the bloody time, because I'll just create bloody massacres that aren't bloody narratively satisfying.
Yeah, for no
Hello,
reason.
Mr. Morgan, we're the Pinkertons.
I like that he doesn't even hesitate.
Why are my instincts leading me to kill everyone in this game? And no, it's not because I'm a sadist, Mum. It's because killing is a fundamental aspect of the game. It's the primary gameplay loop. After all, the main button you
It
press
is
on
actually.
PC is set to kill people. Bang, bang, bang. This means every situation is framed around this loop of killing, and
That
your
was a
choice
nice
then
throw.
boils down to shoot them in the face because you want them to have a closed casket, or back of the head like they're an old dog, in the
Or
belly
the-
like someone with a grudge, or in the heart to watch them fall over in a thud.
Throw them in
When you come
a
across
throw
a
a
bandit
hatchet.
camp, you can't write to them pretending you're one of their wives and confess to sleeping with their buddy, which creates infighting amongst them, leading to half of the camp to be exiled, while the other half lose all spirit to fight. You just shoot them, with
Imagine if that was possible in Red Dead.
the only choice being what ammo you use.
Imagine if that was possible in any game. Why doesn't any game allow such trickery?
Most open world games aren't really open worlds, they're more like theme parks.
Yeah.
You can only have fun within the walls of the park, as beyond is just a bunch of car park like nothingness. You can choose what attractions you play, but you're still confined to the rules. To get the prize, you must shoot the little ducks and not the stone spotty teen working the stall. The story missions in Red Dead are the roller coasters. You might be stuck on a track, but at least it's a fun track that only occasionally breaks down. There's a moment in Chapter 4 where on a misty night, you approach a mansion with the gang to get into an
You kill-
intense
yeah, it
firefight
was-
with
it was
inbred
great.
rich people to
I
save the
think
son
y'all
of one of
left.
the group. It was the kind of set piece that I
Why
couldn't
do you
set up
keep
on my
moving?
own because I don't have enough friends to start a gang, but also I
Fam.
wouldn't be able to work around the game's mechanics.
I keep-
The best
no.
I can do is
It's full
shootouts
screen,
with
it's very
random
good.
people minding their own business or fishing like some dad who doesn't get along with his family.
Or not full screen it.
You may have noticed I haven't spoken about the honor system that's constantly judging you for every person you rob and burn that you can cancel out by doing a few chores. This system
Yeah.
works as reinforcement, since it is a simple way to tell the player that what they are doing is
It's
affecting
bad.
something. You didn't clean the camp for no reason
Ah,
because you
fuck,
can see the
ah,
bar
you
at
know,
the
I'm gonna
bottom
leave it
has
at
inched
that.
over a bit.
Not even gonna touch it.
Yay! But in reality, all that happens is a couple changes in dialogue and you get a different ending depending on your choices. In this 50-hour-long narrative, you only really get two choices. Murderer or boring? Gunslinging outlaw or fisherman?
Fun
Bad
or boring?
or good?
Alright, wait, watch on. Which one? Bad or good? Good.
Fallout New Vegas is one of my favourite games to replay because there's so many avenues to go down. I've been a dumb, straight-talking brute with the physique and charisma of a wall, a high roller who manages to get by on luck alone, similar to someone born into a rich family, a drug addict scientist who only helps those around him if he can get his hands on energy weapons, like what Elon Musk thinks he is. I've been a sniper, a thief, a bin-searching hobo, and now on my latest playthrough I'm a gunslinging American cowboy.
That way you have so much
What is
faith.
it that keeps bringing me back to do the same missions over and over again?
Because of replayability.
Because I watched a video essay about this game and my chem-head brain kicks in like, I need to play it now. But also because the missions aren't the same. Not when I play them again. You're given tons of options when it comes to finding solutions, meaning whatever character you create, there is often a unique way they can handle the quest. Then what makes your choices even more meaningful is that they can have an effect on other quests, especially in the later parts of the game.
I don't play it like that. When I play it, I already know a class that I'm going for, and I'll just go with the one class. I don't know. I can't do varied gameplays, varied gameplay styles. It's like I have one style in mind, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Like I can't like play a berserk in one game and then in the same game play a paladin. I can't.
Your decisions to side with certain factions can lock you out of the quests of rivaling groups, and so each playstyle you go with grants you access to different missions. You get to play in whatever way you want, and it never compromises the game's narrative.
I could just do a good and bad. Wait, it's the perfect. It's a perfect pause. Anyway.
Let's talk about Fallout 4 for a second. The main story in that game is find your baby. You get out of the vault, ready to hunt down the man who kidnapped your son in an epic adventure. Oh, what is that over there?
Right.
This is called ludonarrative dissonance, which is one of those buzzwords you'll be familiar with if you watch videos dissecting
Like
games.
a lot of like the Ludo narrative. I think I watched that video, the Bethesda. It's basically, he's gonna explain it. But what I do remember, it's basically when your character does things that are so far apart from like him in the story. Like let's say in GTA, you know, you can just murder everybody. Imagine if someone in GTA was a pure saint and that saint was also the person murdering everybody. It's like, oh, you behave like this in the cutscenes, but like when I'm in control of you, I do whatever I fucking want.
It means there's a contradiction between the game's narrative and the way the player plays. In Fallout 4, your character is desperate to find his child in all of the cutscenes and conversations, but then as soon as the player takes control, they're off gallivanting, helping robo-pirates sail their boat into the sky.
Right.
The narrative is getting in the way of the game, so it never feels like I'm playing my character, but instead a confused man with a split personality. Tell me where my son is! Oh, is that a story about a crime-fighting hero? Don't mind
That's
if
how
I
it is.
do.
Go for there.
Fallout New Vegas has the perfect kind of story that puts you in charge. Your character has amnesia from being shot in the head by some dude, meaning you can become whoever you like. The
You can become the guy from Skyrim.
main story
You can
is
become a
finding
dragon
that
boy.
guy who shot you, and the game treats it like it's not really a big deal, as the quest gets filed away along with all the others who start on your journey.
And that actually makes more sense. That they won't classify it as a big deal because in your mind you got shot in the head. You have amnesia. You're trying to recover your amnesia, but along the way you can just do random stuff because, well, you have amnesia. What's the hurt?
I should check out that main story once I've finished setting up this fisting robot for that dingy brothel. The
Fisting
game
robot?
is able to set the main story aside because it has the confidence of a drug dealer. They know they'll get you hooked since they've got the good stuff. I don't care about some ugly
Fisting robot.
pixelated baby, but I'm intrigued by this platinum chip everyone keeps bringing up. Maybe I will give this guy who shot me a new face a visit and see what's up. The story in this game is amazing because it gives you the tools to create it yourself. The choices are excellent as they show you the short-term change with the rewards and the long-term change with an effect on the world. The ending is perfect since it takes all these characters and groups you've interacted with along the way and blended them into the final fight for Hoover Dam. That is how you give the player choice. What you don't want to do is have a standard narrative that finishes with the correct ending or the ending that doesn't make any sense in the story. Oh, I need a stim pack right now. My head is pounding.
Correct ending.
Good job I only got hit by an air rifle and not a real gun.
Correct.
I'll just sleep this off.
Correct ending.
Time's up, Anthony Agonist. Your corrupt ways have led you to this moment right here, right now. Wait! You can join me? I know you've killed scores of my men, but I'm sure we can put all of this behind us. Just kill your teammate and I'll let you live. I've been playing this game for like 20 hours. 10 of those...
Antagonist. I was trying, because I think kill 2 men and try to reach antagonist.
...with my friend playing with me in the brief moments where he doesn't have to look after his 2-month-old son. So why would I ever join you?
I have a sexy daughter I could introduce you to.
Yep. Kill. That's crazy.
I should have done that hours ago. Would have
saved a lot of lives.
You can't tell me you wouldn't have done the same thing. It doesn't matter anyway, as we can just watch the other ending on YouTube.
Fact.
A similar thing happened in Far Cry 3, where you go through the main game killing a bunch of nameless, faceless dudes, all to rescue your friends. You go through hell and back on a story of revenge, and at the end you're confronted by 2 choices. Save the friends who you've been saving the whole game, or kill them because...
Exactly. There was no fucking reason for that choice. It was basically kill them because hot girl. That was it.
The problem is that these are 2 polar opposites of choices that both stem from the exact same narrative.
You spend the entire game
So you have the one option.
Entire game I try to save a friend. And then my girl's like, okay, kill him. It's like, what? What? I was so confused when I reached that moment, bro.
That makes sense and something the character would do. Then you have the other option that basically erases everything you've done up until that point,
right?
For the sake of giving you a choice. Let's put this into the form of films to help explain a little better. So what if we just never find out how a story is concluded? I need to use the board.
You're gonna have to wait. I'm almost done with this segment, and I don't have much storage left on the camera. Look, you're gonna need to share. I don't make the rules. This is ridiculous. Infinite timelines, and we have to share the one camera between all of us.
See, this is also why I like watching this dude. Right? He makes such great content. Do you see this shit? Like, I'm betting you that one of these videos have that version of him that was doing something, and then he comes bothering him, and then that version of him goes like, bro.
Let's pretend Far Cry 3 is a film and that there is a set path. The protagonist is stuck on an island and needs to rescue all of his friends along with his brother, and doing so means he must become a killer. As the story progresses, the protagonist gains more skills, and it's clear that his character arc shows this change into a warrior who revels in the violence he causes. His madness starts to take control of him as he hallucinates more and more, losing grip on the world around him. He changes from this helpless person whose goal was to save his friends to a brutal psychopath on the path of revenge. Then we get the choices that take us into 2 very different directions. At the start of this segment, I made it out like the save his friends path is the only logical answer, because that's what I thought when I initially played this game as a 14-year-old idiot. But neither of the good or bad options are very satisfactory, and the right answer would be somewhere in between. I don't think he'd kill his friends, but I also don't think he'd go home to attempt to live a normal life after killing off an entire island like a 15th century settler. The choice in this segment undermines the game's story, because in order for each path to play out, they need to ignore a fundamental part of what has happened so far. Saving his friends ignores the path of the warrior, whereas killing them ignores the fact he spent basically all of the game rescuing them.
It has no nuance.
All the traces of nuance are gone, as the plot pointlessly regresses into a binary choice between good versus evil. Either way, you'll be disappointed.
Yeah. Which one should I pick? You know, the tick. Oh shit. I'll just go with good. It's fine. Are you picking up trash? Now, did you just find this trash pile, or did you make it? I'm pretty sure he just found it. Bitch! That was a good path. What's the evil path? Let's go with the evil path. Oh God. answered my question. Alright, we go back to films then.
Films don't let you choose. Goodbye. No, obviously I'm not going to end it there, but I could have. This is my video, so I'm in control of where you go, which is the same as how films work. I could force you to watch cat videos or pimple popping, and there's nothing you could do to stop me.
You know I'm gonna say who the fuck watches pimple popping. I know who the fuck watches pimple popping.
Because this is all pre-written. You know that moment in a horror where a character is standing at the top of a dark staircase and we look into the pitch blackness when we hear a noise?
Don't go down there. There's a murderer who will cut your head off and do implied gross stuff to it.
Exactly. Like I don't know why people talk to the movie. Cause like, yo, first of all, they can't hear you. Second of all, they can't hear you.
Listen, I have lived in this house my whole life, and not once has there ever been a murderer waiting at the bottom of the staircase with a massive samurai sword. I'm not staying up here. I'm not a chicken.
Exactly.
I'm going to go down like I would on any other day, because why wouldn't I?
It's your fucking house. Go investigate the noise.
This is one of the problems with choice in a narrative, because your choices are affected by the fact you know you're in control of a story, which in this case is a slasher. Most films in this genre start with the hook, which showed a conventionally attractive lady get murdered by a killer in a completely impractical outfit that disguises all of their bodily traits.
That is true. That's how they get me.
That hook is why the audience will be cautious about going downstairs. My character, however, didn't see this scene, and so this is just a normal night that tends to be serial killer free. I mean, my character did know the person who got murdered, but nobody even liked her ever since that argument over the incident. Also, the fact there's even a choice there to start with clues you into the idea.
Just keep it high on the background right there. I don't know if there's anything gonna pop out.
Something is suspicious.
High there so you can keep me informed and make sure nothing pop up.
It's exactly like this shot right now. Do you see the suspiciously empty area behind me, which would be perfect for someone to creepily walk past in the background?
Yeah.
The moment there's a bunch of this dead space, you know there's going to be something scary there, because nobody making films ever comes up with new ideas.
They don't.
Once you see this cliche, you can never unsee it.
This is a great idea, by the way. This whole video is saying.
Once you realize you're in a story, you can never escape that fact. I didn't actually choose the go downstairs option because that's what this character would do. I chose it because it's the incorrect path. This is a slasher and you are supposed to be scared, so what happens when you're not? It's like going to a haunted house where actors in makeup jump out at you. They want to jump out at the people who cower in terror, but if you just sort of stand there unfazed, it all gets a little bit weird, like you just told them you're their new stepdad. The illusion breaks when you don't play ball, and so that means every choice you make has to be in some way correct. You can't just have the audience kill off important characters because they chose dumb choices, which is why a lot of the decisions you have to make end up being a bit
dumb,
pointless.
No.
So that's why films are better off not giving you a choice. But if you want to make an interactive narrative, then you need to be creative. Find a way to make the wrong choice a good option. What are you waiting for? This is a pretty easy decision. This is the film's part, so you only get one option. So, you know, ignore all this dead space.
Isn't that weird?
Ooh.
Oh, look at that.
Never mind.
You see what I mean? He kept talking. He doesn't really
Why
keep
did you click
talking.
on this path? You know there's going to
Because he kept talking.
be a lot of people who completely missed this section because they clicked on the other path too quickly, but you didn't. You saw the space that is so clearly reserved for another option, since I alluded to it, and you ignored the fact I was talking about films not giving you a choice, which led you here. It's funny the kind of information we can interpret.
No, you literally just kept talking and I figured, why not?
We don't need to pick from a selection of two choices or click on random parts of the video. All we need is something as simple as a blank section on a screen. It's also funny what we can interpret from a film like Barbie. Okay, this film was obviously a simplistic take on feminist ideas mixed with quirky comedy that is there to contrast the horrible real world that we live in.
I've never watched Barbie. I've watched Barbie Dreamhouse. And there's other Barbies. I watched Princess and the Pauper. And I think I've watched the one with the rainbow unicorn. I've But I haven't watched the movie.
Easy. Even children can follow the subtext that most of the time wasn't even subtext because characters would outright say what everything means, like with this line.
No Barbie or Ken should be living in the shadows.
That's just text. The sub has been eviscerated like it's been in a romantic relationship with an aggressive dom. What's that over there? I think it might be a choice. Let's check it out.
Barbie, 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 Barbie.
Feminist scream.
Why is she destroying the dolls? Are you destroying the cups or the dolls, or vice versa? Not vice versa. Equal.
Flaming piece of dog.
Preachy, woke.
Extermination of the patriarchy.
Piled atop an entire dumpster on fire.
Misery is only feminism can deliver.
Feminist garbage.
Man-hating. Spiteful, bitter, mean-spirited, borderline unhinged hatred of men.
Piled atop a landfill with dogs.
Brain cancer in movie form. The patriarchy wins.
Deranged, subversive, intersectional pieces of insane, hyper-indulgent, third-wave feminist propaganda I have ever seen. Obviously, Barbie was a piece of shit.
There's a huge demand for sexism, but very little of it to be found.
I heard people like the Barbie movie. Damn. Granted, the only person I actually respect out of this entire thing was Siobhan Head.
I heard a few complaints from people saying that the feminist ideas were too simplistic and they would have liked it to be less basic. But this is why it had to be basic. There's dumb people out there that genuinely thought this film was sexist, anti-men propaganda, which, like, what? They literally have characters saying Barbies and Kens should be equal. Oh, here's the problem. These people probably didn't realise that Barbies and Kens represent men and women respectively, as there were many claiming that the film was anti-feminist because at the start, Barbie Land is a matriarchy.
And what's wrong with the matriarchy? Like, the queen was doing fine.
That's the point. They reversed the roles so men would understand the position the Barbies are in, therefore making the film's arguments better for the 50% of the world who need to hear more feminist ideas. You can choose how you want to interpret a film, be that about a feminist revolution or wrong. But either way, it's a choice that completely changes the narrative. The ending of The Thing is another good example of a choice without being given anything explicit to choose from. MacReady has just killed the Thing in a fiery explosion and he falls down in a clump as the exhausted survivor. That's when Childs appears around the corner. The choice the audience then makes is deciding if Childs is still human or has he become one of the creatures they've been fighting off this whole time. We'll never know as the credits appear, meaning we don't receive any more information about the plot. Our choice changes the fates of not only these characters, but also the world. If we decide Charles is human, then they've won, ending with 2 survivors. But if he is the Thing, then MacReady is dead, and the creature they've been trying to stop will escape, therefore endangering the rest of the world. What happens next is up to you. Oh my god, it's the sword-wielding maniac from the previous segment. Quick, you need to make a choice.
This is so previous.
Typical. This will take you to the very beginning, meaning you don't get to see what happens to me. I guess you can just think really hard about my survival and will it into existence.
And wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. No. Okay, let's go back.
Never mind.
Wrong and wrong. Right and wrong.
Bandersnatch is a great example of an interactive narrative.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No. Stop foolish. You. Wait, what? Oh, this is wrong and right. Wait a minute.
So, you know, ignore all this dead space.
Like, I just realized something. Here. Look. An interactive video about it wasn't 4 minutes. This is a different one. This is a different one. I'm pretty sure this is a different one. Yeah, see, I was right.
Huh. I didn't expect to survive, and I bet you didn't expect to see my story concluded. You could have come up with all sorts of ideas as to what happened to me after that video ended. I could have died, I could have befriended the murderer and we start dating. I could have been abducted by aliens and probed. But now you've got a definitive answer because I'm standing here with hands soaked in blood. Star Wars is...
But you were the one who Like, did he just pull a Uno reversal? Reversal?
One of the most loved franchises ever that has slowly been eroding its fan base one movie or TV show at a time. Like that one old family member you lose respect for as they reveal all their opinions. What happened to...
And they just don't want to admit it too. That's the fucking... Like, everybody's seeing it but them.
Everyone at the end of Return of the Jedi. Where did all the characters go? It was up to the audience's interpretations, and so you might have pictured Luke Skywalker advancing in the ways of the Jedi and living as a sexless, emotionless, unattached hermit, or whatever this weird religion entails for you to gain your superpowers. But then The Last Jedi comes out, revealing Luke has abandoned the Force, which you might not have liked. Mark Hamill was even
Then Rey, the perfect Mary Sue. Learning the Force with just ease and everything, bro.
That he didn't like the direction his character was taken. So maybe it's better to not get an answer and leave some information up to interpretation.
Yeah.
The Boys is a satire of the right wing, but it took 4 seasons for the right wing to realise it was making fun of them. They were all sitting there going, "This has got the seal of approval from me because this show is anti-PC and goes against the message." Not realising that the show was...
I like that he said message, a message, like that one thing from that one dude. I don't remember. Critical Drinker, there you go.
Railing against corporatization and the hijacking of causes for the sake of profit, which is so left-leaning it's basically laying down. If The Boys didn't have this 4th season, then the show would have continued to be interpreted wrong in the minds of so many star-spangled idiots who get bent out of shape when the show pushes the wrong kind of political message, which leads to them review bombing in hopes of silencing the opposition.
Indeed.
Let me explain how writing a TV show works.
Look, I told you. I told you he was gonna appear again somewhere.
Some shows know where the story is going, like Breaking Bad, as Vince Gilligan always planned for Walter White to transform into this evil drug kingpin. This means we know how it starts, but crucially, we know how it ends. This means everything else is allowed to be a bit looser, like how Jesse was meant to die in the 1st season.
Wait, what? Jesse was meant to die in the 1st season? Nigga, what?
Him and Walt had so much chemistry, that they decided to change that.
Oh, okay.
Every decision in regard to plot should be dictated by this plan. Does Walt decide to poison a child? Yes, that makes sense. But does he open up a school for geode enthusiasts? No, that wouldn't work. Even if there's changes, it doesn't affect the overall plan for the show, which allows each season to complement the next, and part of the reason why Breaking Bad is one of the best shows ever. But other shows like Stranger Things are only planned out with the vague idea of
That was disgusting.
Season 1 was brilliant. It was the biggest show of the year, and then Netflix says, "Make more now." Problem is, they didn't plan a direction for the story, which is how you end up with Season 2, which is just Season 1, but the villain is now dogs? And also there's superheroes in punk outfits. Oh no, Season 3's here, just ignore that. The later seasons are fine, but they are nowhere near as good as the first one.
That's on Netflix.
So what if we just never find out how a story is concluded?
I was right. I was fucking right.
I need to use the board. You're gonna have to wait. I'm almost done with this segment, and I don't have much storage left on the camera. Look, you're gonna need to share. I don't make the rules. This is ridiculous. Infinite timelines, and we have to share the one camera between all of us. I loved the show Utopia because it was smartly written with lots of gritty moments and interesting characters. It was so good that it got an American remake that didn't understand what made it amazing, which is the sign of a quality English TV show.
That is actually true when the Americans never understand what the
but
movie is
it got
about.
cancelled. The American one for being awful, and the English one for not bringing in enough viewers. Maybe that's a good thing. After all, Game of Thrones was once the best show on TV until the final season where everyone turned on it.
I've never watched Game of Thrones. Tell me if you watch Game of Thrones.
Sometimes it's better for a show to be cancelled, since you end on a high note and you're still able to create your own interpretation. Sorry everyone, I ran out of storage while filming this section, so I'm just going to have to cancel it here. Feel free to make up your own interpretations as to what I was going to talk about next, and come up with your own fan theories or fan fiction or whatever.
You think there's going to be more paths? Like, I have some time left. Like, please? No? No? Shit. There's one more path we didn't pick.
This is the film.
We haven't gone through this path yet.
Bandersnatch is a great example of an interactive narrative because of how it gives you purposeful choices. First, we are given meaningless decisions like which cereal do you want to rot your teeth or what music do you want to rot your ears, and this is a way of introducing the format to the audience. These are simply there so you don't encounter a life or death situation and have to scramble for the remote because you didn't realise you had to do anything. The next choice you get is to accept the dream job or decline, and your natural instincts would be to accept, not only because it's what the character would do, but also because that's where the story seems like it would be. This leads us to a game over of sorts that prompts us to rewind back to the pivotal moment. It has taken the wrong choice that the character wouldn't have chosen, which is evident from him being confused by his own decision, and it has made this the correct path to take. This is the film establishing us as characters in the story. We aren't playing a character, we're playing ourselves, controlling the most English-looking person through a story. It's a very meta plot that becomes extra meta when we tell our protagonist that we're watching them on the streaming service Netflix. This is a very well-made and tightly written story, but it is just one story. A choose-your-own-adventure is an interactive narrative, but an interactive narrative isn't always a choose-your-own-adventure. Bandersnatch isn't so much a tree that takes you to completely different points depending on the path you chose, but instead it's more like a branch with a few short twigs sticking out of it. Sure, you can come to an ending at one of these twigs, but they are simply a short deviation from the main branch. Whenever we come to a decision like continue the video essay or assassinate target, we can usually recognize the deviation because it's the fun one.
Yeah, of course. Is this the one when he starts running down the guy with the sword? No, he had a rifle. Oh, I know this one. Yeah, there you go. It's this one. This one from game, right?
We then get to the end of that branch, rewinding back to the choice. That was just a fun little side activity that doesn't really affect the main story, since rewinding to the correct path is part of that story.
This is the main story. He admitted it. This is the main story. We're on the main path, guys.
The plot has the ability to do whatever it wants. It has total creative freedom, but should we get total creative freedom as the audience? Do you think you should be able to choose absolutely any path you want? Or do you think there needs to be some sort of track?
A loose track, infinite possibilities. Let's go for infinite possibilities.
Well, if you say so, I'm going to tidy my room and you're going to watch me because you chose this.
What?
You could have stayed on track and continued this very interesting video essay, but no,
Wait, what?
You wanted endless possibilities.
No, wait, sorry.
Sorry, but with endless possibilities, you run the risk of some paths being incredibly boring. You made a choice, though not all choices are going to make for a very satisfying narrative. But because I'm such a nice guy, I'll let you go back onto the correct path. You know.
Men who hate women.
At the end of this video.
What? Why is there a book called Men Who Hate Women? Wait, are you really just gonna clean up your room? This whole 6-minute video is you cleaning your room. Am I not gonna see anything interesting this entire time? It's actually just my comments are turned off. He got me. It really just might be him cleaning his room. Do you think anything interesting is gonna happen throughout this entire thing? 2 times. Let's see. Oh god. What is this?
Just found it. Don't know if that's going to be of importance. There's a gun down there as well.
Why is there a gun down there? It was indeed him just cleaning his room.
You enter a video and not confronted by a stranger.
Wait, fuck. Normal.
In front of a tree, rambling about interactive narratives.
What do you
do? I look him deep in the eyes and then we have sex.
What?
You need to stop doing this. It's hard enough to get people playing Dungeons and Dragons because of its nerdy virgin connotations. We do not need you making it worse by trying to have sex with every human, elf, donkey, or that one time a bookshelf. If you've played Dungeons & Dragons before, you may have noticed your adventure go off the rails a bit, because when you have unlimited choices, it is extremely easy to pick a choice that leads away from the story.
Facts.
Dungeon Masters are the game's storytellers, and the ones in charge of making sure you have a fun time, which in order for you to do so, they have to tell the story in a certain way. You walk into a dusty room that is decorated head to toe with torn cobwebs, and littered across the floor are all the bones of the men that came before you. But hidden away, propped up at the far wall, is a bright red talisman that glints and shines as it reflects your flaming torches. The use of emphasis here is so the players know a key story item is right ahead of them and allows them to stay on. I leave the room and head back to the tavern for another pint. I inspect the bones and add them to my collection. I strip off all my clothes and present myself to the spider that is obviously in this room.
What the fuck is wrong? You know, it's funny because that's how people probably play Dungeons and Dragons. Like, they know they could do whatever the fuck they want. Not everybody, obviously, but yeah.
I hate you guys so much. The trick to making interactive narratives work is to trick the players into thinking they are making choices. In this D&D scenario, the character who inspects the bones and his freaky friend can get attacked by the massive spider that guards its pile of loot that includes the story item. If that doesn't clue them into its importance, then have it activate, like the ruby red talisman begins to spark when suddenly it bursts into a fiery ball of flames that ignites all 8 of the giant spider's thin legs, burning it into a pile of ash and cobwebs. If that doesn't work to get the player's attention, then to be honest, you've got bigger problems on your hands.
You do.
He's forgotten how to breathe! What do you do with the story when the players try to break the narrative by refusing to play ball? They head to the tavern instead of investigating the story item. Well, then you need to bring the narrative to them. Maybe while the group drink while flirting with an orc woman so they can force the DM into describing another graphic sex scene. The tavern can get set ablaze because a thief that the group saw earlier that day had stolen the talisman and used its powers. The group didn't take it for themselves and are now paying the price for their choice.
That's a very interesting way to play D&D. Like, you just fuck with them like, hey, there's a talisman over there, go take it. It's like, no, I don't want it. Well, fuck you then.
Interactive narratives have infinite possibilities, but the way you keep a story free from loopholes is by always covering these 2 choices. Interact with the narrative, or don't. But no matter what decision they make, the main story will continue to interact with them.
Let's interact with the narrative.
Alright, that's great. It took a long time to schedule this game since we all have very busy lives now, but yeah, let's do this. We've got a fun night ahead of us. Seriously though, I think it's amazing that we all got together to play this game. Like, it really means a lot to me that you're all here.
You're welcome. Damn.
Your character has just contracted Balrog syphilis, which as we know is fatal in humans, so you're dead.
What the fuck? Hey. Oh my god, I died? Really? I interacted with the narrative and I just died.
Decision
like that.
they
Let's
make.
don't interact with it then, fuck you.
No, you can't do that. You can't just go. I've spent a long time on this campaign. I'm not letting you just ruin it. It's taken months to arrange a date where we're all free and you're just gonna up and leave? You know what?
Is he dead?
Fine, we'll do it without you in the future. The sickly goblin throws a pebble at your head, it goes through your eye and smushes your brain. You're dead.
Wait, I die in both scenarios. What? Where should I go? I'm back at the start.
What are you waiting for? This is a... Oh.
Interpretation.
Happens to me.
This one. Branching path.
About next and come up with your own fan theory.
Right. Good. Bad? It's too bad. I didn't do bad. I feel like there's an end.
You are often faced with 2 choices, and it is often displayed as left or right, because it symbolises a path that you are taking the character down that leads to a different end. So why is Telltale's The Walking Dead in the bad section? If we look at the very first episode's choices, we see that there are 5 of them. But what are the outcomes to all of these? Do you lie to Herschel? Well, it doesn't matter, because like a flush turd, he'll never be seen again. Do you save Duck or Sean, even though it doesn't matter, as Sean will become zombie lunch either way? What about siding with Kenny, who will always save you even if you agree to throw his son into the streets to be pulled apart by the undead, like a piñata at a kid's birthday party? What about give Irene the gun or not? Can you tell what will happen? How about the choice I opened this section with, saving Doug or Carly, the 2 characters who are so intertwined with one another that they will both get shot at the same point in the story no matter what you do.
Then what's the fucking point of saving them?
The paths you choose throughout this game don't take you to different endings, but instead put you into a parallel timeline. You traverse down the road you've chosen, with the only difference being a few lines of dialogue, but you continue to go through the exact same set pieces. You then get the final bit of difference between the timelines, get a slight change of dialogue once more, and then we're back onto the same path again. If a character is involved in a decision where they can potentially die, then they go through final destination logic in the way that once they dodge death, they are doomed to face it a little bit later on when the timelines finally reconnect. Because of money. If you take a look at the episodes of each season, you'll see that they are set in stone. It doesn't matter what choices you make, as you'll always go from a new day to no time left, because making a game is expensive. Think of all the savings if you don't have to create a new city for every flap of a butterfly's wings. If I didn't make this video essay replayable, and so you'd want to see all of the other options, then you'd only take one path that lasts about 5 minutes, meaning I spent about 90% of my time working on parts nobody would see, a bit like all my earlier videos.
And it's so funny. It's so funny at the point that, wait, there's a car. Yeah, it's so funny because at the point that he said it was this point, basically, meaning, and I've already went through all of those videos so I could see the correct path. Like, it's so smart.
Choices can actually get in the way of a narrative because it forces you to add sections where the player must choose. Each episode has 5 big choices in them, which means you have to write a narrative that always includes 5 big choices, leading to pointless scenes as an excuse for you to do a thing. We came across this crazy lady in the woods, and back to the main plot. All she does is steal a hat, vlog, and spy on a child like a current day YouTuber, and so she is simply there just to make you choose her fate. Then when you aren't making big choices, you're making small choices in dialogue, where you get to pick from a tiny tree of options, where the game tricks you into thinking you are creating change. Every time you're in conversation with a character where the game's pacing goes out the window, as everyone stares at you with empty eyes, eagerly awaiting what you have to say, a notification then appears saying they've taken note of your silence, or he'll remember that, or she'll find that really suspicious and bring it up later on, and we'll be like, we told you so.
Did that actually come up? I feel like he's lying.
But it's all fake. It's the illusion of choice. I thought these games were great when I first played them, as I bought into the marketing, but now it's like I've seen how the sausage is made and I can't go back. You can decide the fates of people, but you can't change the story. If you choose to kill someone or spare them, it doesn't matter because the story needs to stay on track, so those characters either die regardless or leave the plot. When the lives of people in your story don't matter, why would you want to follow those lives?
So basically, if you get an option to kill them in the Walking Dead game, you can imagine that they're gonna die regardlessly if you kill them now or later. I think that's
why would you choose a path if you know both choices take you to the same destination? Why would you bother to interact? When something as consequential as cutting off the main character's arm ends up being as important as deciding what costume you want Spider-Man to wear, you have failed. So, take your pick.
Do it. Don't do it. Wait. It continues like, do it, don't do it, do it, don't do it.
Really? Did you not want to see what would happen?
No.
I honestly didn't expect anyone to take this path, but alright then, guess you've made your decision. You've made a choice as to how you want me to look, but you've also created a unique character, with a backstory, with goals, a life, a loved one back home,
You're expecting most people to tell you to kill yourself.
Motivation to live, a meaning for existing. Ah!
XCOM is such a great game. I love this game.
XCOM is a game that adds a ton of weight to your choices. If you play on the unforgiving Iron Man mode that only gives you one save, you will experience the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
I don't play on Iron Man. I play on the second hardest one, and I always have permadeath on, bro.
on every single mission as you risk the lives of your squad that you have been training up from the beginning.
Really hate it, especially when you've like trained your guy to be like perfect. You gave them the correct mods, the weapons, everything, bro, everything, and then just die off. They just die off. What the?
These are characters that you can customize their look to fit the personality you create for them and give them the skills to fit like puzzle pieces into your team.
Exactly.
When things are going well, you feel like your human propaganda is working on yourself, but things can easily change from a single choice.
They're on to us.
And they just kill you so fast. There was psi energy or whatever.
Phew, glad I got out of there as it turned into an absolute bloodbath. I chose
Everybody
to get
did.
this one character out of the battlefield, but then the rest of my squad got caught up in the fight and weren't able to retreat, so I lost 4 powerful allies. I then had to fight aliens with a bunch of useless losers I grabbed off the street in the next mission, all of them falling to the mightier enemy that were able to easily pick my team off
And
one
then
by
it's
one.
just like a continuous cycle. That's why I always try to have reserves of powerful people.
From a single bad decision, I lost a fight that led to me losing my soldiers, that then led to me losing my sanity, then finally losing the war.
Yeah.
That's how you make choices matter. You give them weight, then you constantly reinforce that weight. From the moment you begin the game, you understand how easy it is to lose characters since they start out incredibly fragile. Move a soldier into a risky position and they are swiftly turned into a trypophobiac's nightmare. As your characters grow stronger, you become reliant on their skills and abilities, reinforcing the idea that their deaths carry more consequences. Then we add the ticking clock element that tells you if this bar gets to the end, you lose all your progress, meaning hours of your existence has been for nothing. To reduce the bar,
You die in real life, you die in the game. The other way around, not that.
you must fight in difficult missions where strong soldiers are essential, which again adds to the weight of their importance. The choices don't matter just because you've spent time to customize your characters to look like your friends in real life. They matter because the game has carefully shown you the importance of keeping them alive.
You know what I also like about it? Like, the enemies feel strong. Like you're in, like, you feel like you're in a situation where, yeah, this is an overwhelming force. Granted, when you play, you gradually do get stronger and it becomes easier. But even though it gets easier, they're not as easy as you think they would be. Like, they can still kill you fairly easy.
Oh my god, Harvey, no! But how do you know what choices are important? Oh, I thought we'd finished ripping on The Walking Dead. Alright, let's end it with another shot to the head. Whenever you reach one of the main choices, you know it's one of the main choices. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. It's always something like this where you have the choice of left or right. But the problem with adding so much emphasis on these decisions is you make all the other choices in the game feel meaningless. Why should I care about how I talk to people in this game when I know what I say in these conversations won't be brought up on the final screen that displays your choices? I'll just continue to be some weird mute that refuses to answer basic questions because it doesn't matter. XCOM is different because all of your choices are treated the same, which creates a constant state of tension since you never know when you'll make that dumb decision which will force you to uninstall the game out of rage. It does this by adding an element of randomness with how enemies move or if shots land, creating potential for anything to happen.
It's RNG, but like, bro, I have many times when I have like a 98, 95% chance of hitting, and I hit that 5%, I hit that 2%, I hit 1% of missing. It pisses me off. I hate this game.
Move your soldier into a spot where they have a 99% chance to kill the alien. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think that meant 100% chance to hit? I guess you should have planned your attacks better and not just grabbed any hobo off the street with an itchy trigger finger. Sorry! This element of randomness is missing from The Walking Dead because with every choice, you have a clear idea of what the cost of your actions will be. Pick a side of an argument, decide who will die, choose to be good or bad. It's a black and white story where you are either on the left or the right. XCOM works in shades of grey where all your choices have the potential to be good, bad, or somewhere in between. It makes you think about every move, think about everything that could go wrong, and if it's worth it to make that choice. And sometimes you just have to take a risk. You now have a choice to make. One of these paths will take you to something nice, but the other will take you to something horrible. This will be your Iron Man mode experience, because you'll either be rewarded or you'll face something that sucks. And to keep in the spirit of this segment, you also won't be allowed to continue this video essay. You must choose wisely.
It's funny because like first it was
You must
30 days,
choose
31.
wisely.
Alright, let's go it right. How long have I been doing this? I just ended up with a fucking cat. God damn it! I have to go with left.
Wise.
I still ended up with a cat. You're fucking with me, man. You really? I still end up with a fucking cat. It's still a goddamn cat. It didn't matter. Both of my choices didn't matter. Wow. I got played like a violin.
What? Did you think I was going to cut off my arm? I'm not that desperate for views. That was just a choice with basically no payoff, except now I look like I have a lot of opinions about artisan coffee. I've customised my look, but I've also created a unique character, with a backstory, with goals, a life, a loved one back home, a motivation to live, a meaning for existing.
Are we getting back to XCOM talk, but now our choices
XCOM
matter?
is a game that adds a ton of weight to your choices. If you play it on the unforgiving Iron Man mode that only gives you one save, you will experience the highest highs and the lowest lows on every single mission as you risk the lives of your squad that you have been training up from the beginning. These are characters that you can customize their look to fit the personality you create for them and give them the skills to fit. I thought we're finished ripping on The Walking Dead.
Wait.
Every choice you have a clear idea.
Wait. So now my choices matter? No. My choices still don't matter. What? It's fucking with me, aren't I? Ivity. What? Am I missing something?
Ending, or the ending that doesn't make any sense in the story. Oh, I need a stim pack right now. My head is...
Look, the wrong ending.
What are you doing here? Why would you ever pick this option? I've literally called it the wrong ending. For God's sake, I haven't even put anything here because I didn't think anyone would end up at this point. Just hold on 1 second. I'll program something in.
What the fuck? What the fuck is happening right now? Obviously we're going with the blue door. Or the red door. Go with the red door. Red means fire.
You must choose a door. Do you start
with that 100?
Resetting all progress, but staying in the comfort of what you know? Or do you proceed into the unknown, falling deeper into the darkness? You must choose wisely.
What the fuck is happening? How did this continue? You know what? Let's go into the unknown, going deeper. I'm deep into this already. I'm just gonna... We're already deep in. Hello.
You must always choose a door. Start over, begin again, replay, whatever you wish to call it, or fall deeper in search for the cracks and seams. You must choose.
Well, guys, I'm already fucking going crazy. Might as well. Hello again, Blue Door. Hello again, guy. Are you gonna kill me now?
You must never stop choosing. Feed the machine by starting over, for it craves your attention. Or search the darkness, grasping at shadows in an attempt to find an end. You must choose. Always.
I'm still trying to find an end. Like, I'm pretty sure I went through everything now, and I just have to continue going. When does it stop?
You must never stop playing the game. Offer your body to us, and we will give you what you need. Or find an end that doesn't exist, for that too is how we feast. You must choose.
I'm pretty sure the egg exists in this blue door. We're still doing this?
You must always choose a door. Start over, begin again, replay, whatever you wish to call it, or fall deeper in search for the cracks and seams. You must choose.
We're going deeper. I'm pretty sure I started over. I feel like I started over. This is how we're gonna find out if I started over. No. I'm gonna continue. How many are there? Oh no, it already started over. Okay. Okay. I'm pretty sure I will never find the end of this. And I'm just gonna go crazy. Wait, let's start over. What happens if we start over?
Persists. Your eyes are not enough. Bring me more.
Uh-huh. Okay, so we're gonna end this video here. I'm gonna leave the starting of this interactive video essay in the description if you guys want to try it yourself, if you want to see, maybe get to the ending. Also, there is a full video of the whole thing if you want to watch that also on the channel. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe if you like the video, guys. This was a whole mind fuck, but it was really fun to do, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye.